cleaning my teeth. You didn't tell me.
It's rude when you clean your teeth.
Well, you should tell me when you're pressing record.
I press record.
I know, but you didn't yesterday. And
I believe that our stream is live. There's a live stream.
I see it.
Sucking your teeth.
That's what I was doing yesterday when it went live.
I had an uncle that did that all the time.
Would suck his teeth.
Yeah. I thought it was cool.
You thought it was cool? Did he walk around with a toothpick sticking out of his mouth too?
No, but that was very Ruby Tratish. It's so Ruby Tratish that my grandpa, I guess he would leave his toothpicks wherever, and their Saint Bernard would pick them up and put it in his, walk around with a toothpick in his lips or cheeks, whatever. You know what I feel like that has been dated, and maybe I'm really wrong, but cards, like welcome card, wedding cards, like cards. What are cards called?
So
Hallmark cards.
Let's just preface that statement with the fact that you were never a fan. So
I like the cards that you open.
If you were never a fan,
and things drop out of them. I feel like a card is a delivery system for a check or a $5 bill.
It's inappropriate.
Do you like cards? I have a friend that gives cards, and she gives very good cards.
Yeah.
But I haven't got a card from her for a while. The best card that I ever gave you, it was 2 horses in a stable, and it says, "To my stablemate."
And I kept it. It's here. It's here.
I think we could do cards.
Like make public to
I'm
sell, even though you feel they're
a little note that said thanks. Like we could come up with way better stuff.
So that. I've started not giving cards to people that don't appreciate them.
I feel that I personally like to give cards, and I like to put money in it. Once my great aunt, she always put $5 bills in when we were kids, but continued that up into our 20s. And there was always a $5 bill, and she would always say, "Get yourself something nice." And then we knew things were slipping for her when I got a card and there was no money, but the same note was there: "Get yourself something nice." There was no $5 bill.
It happens.
It happens.
Are you ready to start?
I'm ready to start. Let's do it.
The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beattie, and today is October 14th. Controlling versus trust.
Is there trick or treat this year? Oh, okay. Carry on.
There was a time in my life when I felt so afraid of and overwhelmed by the very fact of living that I actually wanted to make out a schedule for each day of my life for the next 5 years. I wanted to include all the chores I had to do, when I would do them, even when I would schedule relaxation. I wanted to get some order into what felt overwhelming. I wanted to feel like I was in control. Controlling is a direct response to our fear, panic, and sense of helplessness. It is a direct response to feeling overwhelmed and to distrust. We may not trust ourselves, our higher power, the plan, the universe, or the process of life. Instead of trusting, we revert to control. We can approach this need to control by dealing with our fear. We deal with fear by trusting ourselves, our higher power, the love and support of the universe, the plan, and this process we call life and recovery. We can trust when things don't work out the way that we want, that God has something better planned. We can trust ourselves to get where we need to go, say what we need to say, do what we need to do, know what we need to know, be who we need to be, and become all we can become when we are intended to do that, when we are ready, and when the time is right. We can trust our higher power to give us all the direction we need. We can trust ourselves to listen and respond accordingly. We can trust that all we need on this journey shall come to us. We will not get all we need for the entire journey today. We shall receive today's supplies today and tomorrow's supplies tomorrow. We were never intended to carry supplies for the entire journey. The burden would be too heavy, and the weight was intended to be light. Trust in yourself. We do not have to plan, control, schedule all things. The schedule and plan have been written. All we need to do is show up. The way will become clear, and the supplies will be amply and clearly provided, one day at a time. Trust, my friend, in today. Today I will trust that I will receive all I need to get me through today. I will trust that the same shall happen tomorrow.
Trust, my friend.
Trust, my friend.
Trust, my friend. That is a good one in the fact that I never really linked control to trust. And I always think like people that are controlling are just messed up and so like they're so out of control inside, so they have to control everything on the outside, but it's really a trust issue. Is that what it is? That's what she linked it to?
Yeah.
Is a direct response of our fear, panic, and sense of helplessness.
Yeah, well, and especially people who've experienced lots of trauma in their life, like
They can be it can turn into control.
The world is not a safe place, and so they need to try to control what they can control. And for women, oftentimes that turns into like eating and right, like, and so sometimes that's what they can control, especially young women, and then just that like fear just becomes like this constant companion.
So you can have healthy. Like, so she said like everything would be planned to the T in their life, but then if I have no plan, that's still controlling because I don't have control. I'm controlling what I eat, and if I don't work out my money, if I don't have a plan for my money, then I'm actually it's a form of control. I don't want to budget because that will be in control. I know that when I teach anger management, we look at the outside cues versus the inside cues and what I have responsibility over. And so I'll always ask a room full of early recovery guys, do you have control of the outside cues? And there's always going to be one guy that says yes. Very seriously, yeah. Because most of us in addiction are so out of control inside that we have to control so the illusion is that, yeah, we control everything and we're the director and you're all the actors of my play. And so she refers to that of actually the script has been written and we're just part of it. We're not the director anymore. And then I like the part where it says the journey, we don't need everything for the journey. And I think that's a control thing where, and it made me think of the children of Israel in the desert when they got their food. They were only told to take enough for that day, and if they saved it, so probably all the controlling people gathered it all, and it turned to worms the next day. So I think we all have a little bit of that in us, but then how do we let go? And I think God helps us let go by proving that He's going to provide, proving that He's going to defend, proving that He's going to give you comfort that you used to get from other things, of having all these safety nets around you, of collecting your manna for the whole journey, for the 40-year journey. Imagine that. So I think we need God's help to let go of control and move into trust. My friend.
That's good.
Oh, man. Control. Who's in control?
Not me.
Who's in control of your cookie jar?
I do the opposite.
What do you do?
I would err on the, I definitely spent the first half of this year like not doing what that person was doing.
Agreed. You got to start somewhere.
I'm on vacation. La la la. I can't even figure out what we're going to eat for dinner tonight. Oh wait, no. So I do know what we're going to have for dinner tonight, but I'm open to changes if something comes along.
Something better.
So now, yeah, I definitely like lost control maybe, or just like crashed and couldn't control everything anymore. And so now I feel like in my rested state I can.
So going back to the anger management, what do we have control over? We do have control over the inside response, and I think that's the healing journey. That's the hope, is that I don't have to control everything, but I can be transformed and changed inside, so I don't have to control everything. So when I hear something or when somebody does something, I'm responding in a healthy way instead of a bah, and now I have to control you and that kind of stuff.
Is that like my picture that I had the other day of the car?
Oh man, share your picture. This is a great picture. I really truly believe that God speaks to us, and I even brought it up in my class yesterday. Does alcohol speak to us? And there was a couple of people that said no, and I'm like, alcohol spoke to me, dragged me, tugged me, pulled me. It convinced me. Like I'm on my way home for my parents' a birthday dinner. and I have no intention of stopping at the pub at all. And I go there before dinner. And then I go to the liquor. Like, who's talking to me? Somebody's talking to me. And so we believe that God talks to us even in a stronger, greater way and guides us and leads us. Mm-hmm. So God does speak to you. And he spoke to you in a picture. Share it.
I was trying to go to sleep a couple nights ago, and then like all the worries, I was listing like the things that I'm worried about. And so then instead of like just worrying about them, I was giving them to God. I said, okay, God, you need to take care of this, and this is out of my control. And like, I really want this to happen, but I'm going to let you be in charge, that kind of conversation. And then I just had a picture of like acceptance. So I'm driving a car and acceptance is in the front seat.
You're driving or acceptance is driving?
Well, whatever. Don't read too much into my picture, but I'm driving a car and acceptance is in the front seat and I'm hanging out with acceptance, but I got frustration toddlers in the back seat kicking the back of my seat and whacking me in the back of the head and fighting with each other. And I'm trying to just sit
in the back seat,
in the front seat, and drive with acceptance in the front seat and be patient and not like grab the ice scraper and try to
goodness, this is a longer
frustration
story.
In the back seat.
I don't understand what you mean by ice scraper. Why would you pick up an ice scraper and try to hit frustration?
Because you always tell a story about you and your brother fighting in the back seat. And then
we were youngsters, and
was the neighbor kid there too, or just you and your brother? Okay, so you and your brother in the back seat fighting, and your dad saying like, "I'm not going to tell you kids one more time."
I said, "Good, I was sick of hearing you."
And then he grabbed the ice scraper, which was like a extender one, and then went to like
hit us in the back seat.
But he whacked your mom in the face.
Oh, Carl.
So my picture the other night when I was praying about it was like, don't grab the ice scraper, just relax.
Nothing good happens when you respond to frustration and violence.
Hang out with acceptance in the front seat.
I'm glad that story has come full circle now.
Nothing good happens when you grab the ice scraper and lose it, Vicky.
That's good. We should make sure we share this with my dad. Sometimes you just react.
I think sometimes your mom watches. Maybe
not to
she won't watch this one.
I think that's good parenting sometimes.
Okay.
Children need an ice scraper.
Who hasn't done that?
Who hasn't hit their kids with an ice scraper or a shovel?
Or any number of...
Oh, a rake. Who hasn't hit their kid with a rake?
He wouldn't have really hit you with it. He was just trying to scare you. That's all.
I hit my son with a rake once.
You probably shouldn't say that on camera.
He wouldn't take it from me, so
you shouldn't say stuff like that on camera.
Sometimes it's just good parenting.
Sometimes it's not good parenting.
As long as you don't go to jail for it. All right, we gotta go. All right, let go of control and trust God, and I think the beginning of that is prayer, to have willingness to let go of control.
And if you really want to like overthink my picture that I had, then I'm just gonna like pull over the car and get out of the driver's seat and let God drive.
Bye.